and welcome to my channel. I'm the Angry Simmer, and today we're going to be building a galley kitchen. So, growing up, my grandmother had one. I technically have one. I've lived around a lot of them, and they've always been kind of a boring thing to have. But for some reason, I saw this one on Pinterest and was like, wow, these are actually gorgeous. And I started to take a look and saw a couple of them and kind of mixed the ideas together. So like the flooring from one and the windows and doors from another. And it was awesome. I do have to say this was only a 12-minute recording, so I can't speed it up. So I'm very sorry that you have to sit through that. But I do show you, or I do move a little bit slower so you can actually see who I use, or what CC I use, so, that's helpful. And this one's such a small build, and it's only using basically Mink and Peacemaker that, there you go. That's where you get all this stuff. But you are kind of seeing, how slow my computer runs in this, so I am sorry. But yeah, this is why my videos are sped up so much, is because I've got so much CC that it moves real slow. So, yeah, sorry about that. But what we do is we use blue cabinets from Peacemaker and these awesome doors that I cannot remember. I think it's Tingling or Tingly Sims, something like that. But it's the Simmer who has the little British Guard man as their person, or as their mascot, I guess. And then these floors by PS, which I linked them on my favorite CC video, which, if you guys haven't seen, I'd suggest it to, go take a look, because I actually linked the CC in that one, so you can go get all the stuff that you like. But in this one, I just use, light colors, bright, happy, breezy feeling. It's supposed to be airy and, feel big and open while still being just a small galley kitchen. Now it is 4 squares wide, which I think is pretty cool. It does count it as 5 for some reason. 5 by 7 I think is what came up on the build whenever I uploaded. So this is already on the gallery. So if you have the CC that you see me using, or if you only are missing a few things, then you can pick it up on my my page, or not on my page. I don't have a page for my builds, but on the gallery under the Angry Simmer, and it's called an Airy Galley kitchen. So it's called Airy Galley kitchen, not a Airy Galley. Anyways, it's pretty late. I'm trying to get this out before it's supposed to be up tomorrow. So, but the idea is, even though it's small, it's got tons of storage. You've got everything you need. A good little pantry there, plenty of space between the refrigerator and the stove and the ends, and it's got the overflow marble on the ends that Peacemaker so beautifully put in. It's lovely. This is me trying to decide if I really like how that looks, or if I wanted to kind of raise it up. But you know what? I like it. I like it a little bit, more towards how people like me could actually reach it. I don't understand why being 5'5" seems to exclude me from using normal cabinets. There's two rows in my cabinets that I can't reach at all. Like, I'd have to get a step stool to get anywhere near it. So, sorry. I didn't realize I'd build so slow. I felt like I was blasting through this. Oh well. At least the music's good today. I went on Epidemic Sound and downloaded a bunch of new stuff, and I just fell in love with it. I thought it was awesome. A lot of playful new music was added to it, so I loaded up, and that's why you're hearing new stuff instead of the same old. It did take me a while to land on the hood that I wanted to use here, just because for some reason the Peacemaker hoods are either not touching like that is, or just bleeding into each other, so I didn't know where I wanted to go with it. And then I ended up putting in a metal one anyways, because I feel like the vent hoods like this from Peacemaker are more for a different kitchen. It's not a little galley kitchen. Like you see there, it just doesn't work. I don't think that works anyways. But I felt like the metal vent hood made it more galley kitchen, a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more industrial, a little bit more, what am I trying to think of? Just realistic. you know, this seems like something like they remodeled the kitchen, but they wanted to save some money, so they left that hood in, you know, that sort of thing. Like, I imagine that these cabinets were already in there, but they sanded them down and painted them the blue that they wanted, and then just got, you know, they maybe used epoxy to make it look like that beautiful marble on top. Because, you know, I'm crafty like that. I think of stuff like that. You know, but then, you know, they worked on the end cabinets. They're really hard to make the, I guess technically this could be like painted concrete too. Because concrete you can do the overflow with too. If you guys haven't noticed, I watch a lot of Property Brothers because I know that about overflow concrete. I love those DIY shows and the, you know, rebuild or remodeling houses, and it's just my jam, which is probably why I love The Sims so much, because I would love to be an interior designer myself. Now you do have doors going outside on, you know, right where we can see, and then by the table. That, of course, I feel like your Sims, you know, you could fill in the blanks where that what should be there. Here's me trying to make it right there, but I decided, you know what, that's fine there. But yeah, so I feel like maybe this one leads out into the dining room, and then the other side leads into the living room. You know, so it's technically connected. Like, you could yell from the door or yell from the kitchen if you needed help, but it's still separated because a lot of people don't like everything being open and on top of each other. In a galley kitchen, you do have the benefit of it's kind of closed off, and if your kitchen's a mess, people don't have to walk in there and see it. You can just bring the food in and keep them in the living room or the dining room. Because I imagine you'd still have some sort of connection to the dining room that wasn't going through the kitchen in this. Like, I feel like since they updated it so much and made it this pretty color, that maybe they found a way to get around that, you know? Sorry, I had to get a sip of tea. My throat is so dry. I feel like I'm fighting an infection, or not an infection, but a cold. My throat's sore and my head hurts and my nose is kind of stuffy, and I just haven't got sick yet. And I'm hoping I don't, because, and it might also be because the weather is insane here. It's going to be 57 degrees today, or tomorrow, when you guys see this. Well, no, it'll be 57 the day before you guys see this. That didn't make a whole lot of sense. But anyways, yeah, so it'll be 57 degrees tomorrow for me. And, yeah, it was 32 yesterday, 37 today. And then once we hit 57 for 2 days, it's going to go back down to 20. So we have a saying in Missouri, if you don't like the weather, just wait, it'll change. And that's really what I've noticed here. It's not a bad place to live at all. We've talked about that, but the weather is cuckoo. And I think my body is just not coping well with it in the least for some reason this year. It's because I'm getting old. That's what it is. I had to take my grandfather to the hospital today to get his IVs, and I sat in the waiting room with all the wives because I couldn't go back with him this time because he wasn't seeing the doctor, so he wasn't in a private room. I had sniffles. They didn't want me near any of the patients, which I totally understand. But so I'm sitting out there with the wives, chit-chatting and talking about, you know, how they're not so happy that the husbands aren't doing well yet or better yet. And I'm explaining to them how these things work. And one of them we brought up absent-mindedness or memory issues, and the table's still not fixed. Anyways, and I was like, yeah, I'll walk into the kitchen and forget what I was doing and be like, what did I come in here for? And like 20 minutes later, I'll be like, oh yeah, I was supposed to feed myself. So, you know, I jokingly say I'm not going to have several more years of good memory left, or I'm going to have Alzheimer's soon. And I actually, I've talked about this a little bit before, I think, but we did a DNA test through 23andMe, and they do constant research with your DNA. And I love that about it. But sometimes when they notify you of things, you get kind of nervous. You're like, oh, am I a carrier for this? Am I a carrier for that? Do I have that disease that they're looking for? And I haven't had anything so far except for an increased likelihood of early onset Alzheimer's. I was like, I knew it! I knew it! I am just crazy forgetful. I'm useless, really, when it comes to memory. And I hate it. And I try to do brain games all the time, but It's coming about. I know it. I'm gonna be the old lady in the nursing home biting a poor nurse, and I apologize now. If you're a young woman or man who's watching this and you end up being my nurse, I'm sorry. I really am. So I'm gonna be a handful because my nails grow. So vicious old woman. That's what I plan on being. And you know what? I've always joked around that I was gonna be the little old lady sitting on my back porch yelling at the neighbor kids not to walk across my yard, because I did that whenever I wasn't a little old lady. So yeah. Also, let's talk about how pretty these chairs and this table are. They just seem realistic too. Like, I've been to people's houses who have the round table to save space and get as many people in there as possible, and then they wanted to dress it up a little bit, so they put the slip covers over them. Which, by the way, we're talking about replacing our dining room table because short legs and tall chairs don't mix. And I saw this what I thought was a chair with a slip cover. Turns out it's a $70 slip cover to go over a $265 dining room table chair. One of them. It's for one each, not $70 for 7 slip covers, not $70 for 2 slip covers, and not, a chair and a slip cover. No. Pier 1 is killing me, and I love it so much. I have problems. I love interior stuff, and Pier 1 is beautiful, but it's so expensive. I can't bring myself to spend that kind of money on the larger furniture stuff. Although we did find a table there that is just gorgeous and beautiful, and you know what? I've looked for another one that looks like it, that's cheaper, and I can't find anything. So we're gonna go with that, and then I'm gonna use Joss and Main to get chairs for super duper cheap. So I think the ones we found were like $100 per set, like 2 of them. So way better than the $200 for a single chair that we found, the ones that we liked at Pier 1. So, and they look exactly the same, and they're probably going to be just as comfortable and just as sturdy. So, and they'll hold up a lot better once, we're not sitting in them and using the bar to get ourselves up and jump up like my mother-in-law and I have to do. But you guys have sat here watching my computer move slowly and me chit-chat about almost nothing for the last few minutes. We are almost to the screenshots. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, that you can find this build on the gallery and under the Angry Simmer. And thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.